Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my fellow Nakama, the Wano Kingdom arc has officially begun. I bet you guys were really excited to learn who the true leader of the world government is after they introduced him during the Reverie arc. We're certainly going to get answers in these chapters. Nope! Screw that! We're going straight ahead to the Wano Kingdom arc. And the last two chapters of One Piece have been absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Not only do we finally get to see the other Straw Hat Pirates again, which include Usopp, Frankie, Nico Robin, but freaking Zoro returns! And guess what? He does something badass, and not long after, the other Straw Hat Pirates, with Luffy and the other members of the crew, finally arrive in the Wano Kingdom, which might have one of the coolest designs of any place that I have seen from the One Piece world, and it's the ultimate homage to Japanese art itself. I have a feeling that Oda, the creator of the One Piece series, has desperately been waiting for this arc, as he's finally about to honor the beauty and culture of his country in the wackiest freaking manga series of all time. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into both of these chapters right here. I'm going to be reviewing two chapters of One Piece for you today. They are very different, but they're basically the beginning of the Wano Kingdom. The first chapter is all about the reintroduction of the Straw Hat Pirates, as well as getting to meet up with Nekomamushi again, who has arrived to this mysterious world, which is this country that was apparently owned by Whitebeard. We get to see that's where Marco the Phoenix is, acting as a doctor and still continuing to be a stand-up guy, and we get to learn that this entire country was created by Whitebeard to save all of these people from the world government. These were poor people who didn't have money to give to all of the celestial dragons, thus they couldn't be officially protected by them, and in order to get away from them and actually make money and survive and have a nice life, Whitebeard basically created this sanctuary for all of these people, and all of the gold and plunder that he actually attained from his entire pirate organization was used to fund essentially this utopian paradise. It really paints Whitebeard as a very stand-up individual, and I truly loved this moment. I also love that they even talked a little bit more about Whitebeard's supposed son. It's still kind of unknown if this is the guy who sprang from his loins, but I can't wait to see if that's all going to go down. But this is all just a build-up eventually to the reveal of the Wano Kingdom, which when you see it for the first time, you're like, yep, that's exactly what I expected it to be. Lots of Japanese castles, pagodas, bonsai trees all over the place. It truly emulates a lot of those old Japanese paintings that you see sometimes, and I love that aspect of it. But the rest of the chapter is devoted to seeing the other Straw Hat members, who now have brand new aliases, and that's because Kinemon told them that they're basically in Kaido's territory. If they mess up, they're going to get in trouble, so they have to fully assimilate into Wano culture. So they all have brand new costumes and even some brand new names. Frankie in particular looks like kind of like a stereotypical Japanese shipwright. Usopp now has a beard, which is all sorts of freaking awesome, and he's peddling his toad oil. Nico Robin appropriately becomes a geisha, something that she seems kind of uncomfortable with, but honestly, she looks really great in the costume. But it's Zoro who really steals the show here. It's such a great showcase for his character because we haven't seen Zoro in like 2 years, so I'm glad that the first thing we see of him is something that's incredibly badass. While Kinemon told them not to make any trouble in the kingdom, Zoro, of course, has gotten in trouble. He has lost his way yet again, and apparently everybody thinks that he is this murderer, this killer who's been going around the Wano Kingdom and randomly killing people at night. And he's been captured, and he's going to have to commit seppuku. In other words, he's going to have to kill himself, and then he is going to be beheaded. And they give him this tiny, teeny little knife that he's going to have to do it with, and it's important that they introduce this knife because, you know, it just shows that with any sort of blade, Zoro can be incredible. Now, right before he's about to do this, he realizes that he's about to break Kinemon's rule by causing a lot of trouble. He realizes that the executioner is actually the true killer because he can smell the blood on him. I'm not sure how that works, but I'm gonna trust Zoro. He's usually right about these kind of things. And he apologizes to Kinemon before he attacks this guy, slashing him with this tiny blade, but also destroying the roof and building directly behind him in one clean slash. It is an awesome panel and a great reintroduction to Zoro. And just like the Reverie arc, I was slightly annoyed how in the next chapter they don't follow up on it. They leave it completely mysterious. But the good thing is, this chapter, the one that I'm about to talk about, is also really exciting, as it is Luffy and his friends' first introduction to the Wano Kingdom, and again, they truly try to emphasize how different this actual world looks when compared to some of the other ones that we've seen in One Piece. A lot of that Japanese art style is very prevalent in everything, and when they finally arrive at the Wano Kingdom, they actually see like this massive waterfall where all these giant koi fish are jumping up. They also realize that the water around them is actually fresh water because it's actually coming from this massive stream. And in a scene which in any other series would make no sense, Luffy decides to grab onto these two giant koi fish while holding onto the ship, which launches them up when they land directly on the Wano Kingdom. It'd be ridiculous if this type of stuff hadn't happened in the series before, and I'm willing to accept it for what it is. However, they quite literally crash land on Wano, with the Thousand Sunny being on its side, so they're kind of in big trouble here. And the minute they arrive on Wano Kingdom, which again, like I said, looks like a giant Japanese painting, Luffy is suddenly attacked by all sorts of creatures, one of them being one of those like weird lion statues that kind of resembles a dog, and then another one being what I can only describe as a giant freaking King Kong ape with a giant katana sword. What I love about this scene, though, is that Luffy's like, oh, it has a katana. We must be in the Wano Kingdom. So what's the rundown on both of these chapters right here? Man, I'm already really loving this arc, if only for the incredible art style that they're giving us. I mean, I know that we're probably going to end up seeing a lot of stereotypical Japanese things, but considering this is coming from Oda, a native of Japan himself, I expect it to be all in good fun. A lot of crazy caricatures, but the overall look of this world is great. It's just so distinctive from some of the other ones that we've seen, and I think that might be one of the best elements of the second half of the One Piece series. What I mean is, when the time skip began, all of the islands that they started to go to really started to feel almost alien in the way that they were actually structured, and almost mythical in some senses. This is definitely keeping in line with that, and I truly love it. But really, the scenes that stick out for me in both of these chapters has to be the Zoro scene, which just looks awesome. I mean, just read that a couple of times and look at the action that's executed there. That one big attack that he does with that tiny little sword is just so freaking satisfying. I wonder if he's going to be captured or if they're actually going to believe him that he actually took out the real killer. I'm guessing they're not going to be too happy about this, though. They probably aren't going to believe this guy that they've probably never seen before. And then, of course, there's the second chapter. Just getting to Wano Kingdom is a lot of fun in the typical One Piece way. We also get to see that they're reading about everything that's going on in the Reverie, with Sanji freaking out about all of the princesses that they've met, all the people that they've met up with. It's a really great moment, and it's almost implied that Reverie is done at this point, but there's still such mystery to it. I mean, really, what happened there? Are they never really going to pick up on that stuff again? Are these things all happening at once? It's kind of hard to tell, but the actual landing on Wano Kingdom was fun and really what I expected. I can't wait to see Luffy fight against all of these crazy monsters that exist in this world. He's had a lot of experience when fighting against like giant beasts and things, so now he has to fight against ones that know how to use weapons. That's going to be really exciting. And like I said, just the art style of this one really just sells it in these chapters right here. It's just a lot of fun to look at, and I can't wait to see how the anime is going to make it look. The music and the colors, when they get to this part in the anime, are just going to look so freaking cool. So, yeah, I loved both of these chapters right here. It was a great introduction to the Wano Kingdom arc, which is why I'm going to give both chapters a 5 out of 5. There's just so much to get from these. The humor, the brand new costumes from the Straw Hats, just the Wano Kingdom itself is so fun to look at and read. So, yeah, loved them both. 5 out of 5s. I'd love to hear from you guys, though. What did you guys think of these chapters right here? The beginning of the Wano Kingdom arc. Tell me all your thoughts. Let's start a discussion in the comments section. Thank you guys for watching this review. I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay down, baby.